We want to always promote our website, chicksontheright.com, and then also chicksontheright.com/links, where you can find all of our socials. We want you guys to go there first and foremost, because then you can find all of our things, our podcast, everything. And you should be subscribing to this podcast if you haven't, because the content that we provided in the first 5 minutes of this podcast is second to none.
You can't get it anywhere
You can't
else.
get this anywhere else. The quality that we provide here. I mean, that's.
Where do you find that? Where?
I ask you.
You guys also were very, very tired because her
Oh my
flight
God.
got delayed. We
Of
didn't
course.
get to sleep until
My
midnight.
flights are always delayed. They're like, is Amy Jo on this flight?
Let's delay it.
Just cancel the flight. Cancel all the flights. This is what happens when I fly.
It's so for real, because
Yeah.
everything on my flight was fine.
Mhm.
You know, I got here at 4:00. By the way, okay, so and for those of you that don't know, we're at CPAC in DC, and we're staying at this unbelievably nice hotel.
It is really pretty.
so
Yeah,
beautiful.
It is.
And since it's been since 2010, since we were here last, it's in a whole other place. We've not been to this National Harbor area. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of neat. And we expect that we're going to be having some like behind the scenes sort of moments here and there all throughout the next several days. And so if you are not subscribed to Facebook Insiders or local supporters, you're going to miss out on that exclusive content.
Yeah, you should really do that.
So you
those are
should
your
join
those are
those
your
things.
people. Yeah.
For real.
So we'll have some exclusive stuff, but I already got on the elevator last night. I think it was, I don't know, it was probably 3 a.m. by the time I got here. And then I don't even know what time it was. What time was it? It was
You
midnight.
got here 11:30 is when
Yeah.
you got here. And we didn't go to sleep until midnight.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go to sleep until 2 a.m. because I was completely wired when I got here. And then I got on the elevator with a couple youngsters and they were very sweet. They were from Florida. So there are a lot of young people here for CPAC, which is neat. It's kind of neat that there are a lot of young people and they seem like they were about ready to go out.
Their night was just beginning.
Their night was beginning at midnight. And I was like, I'm tired. I was so Forrest Gumping it. I'm tired. I want to go home.
Can we go home now?
Mhm. Right.
Yeah. And I got here to the hotel at what, like 4:30, something
Yeah.
like that. And so by 6 o'clock, I had gotten something to eat from the market downstairs, and I was back in the hotel, and I was in my jammies.
That is
because that
sounds
is how I
glorious.
roll.
Right.
Okay, so we should talk about newsy things because now it is officially go time.
It's time.
Right. So good morning for those of you who just now realized that we are live
Mhm.
because we did come on a little bit early. Couple like little headliney things to get to before we do videos as usual. The first thing, I don't know if you guys heard, but yesterday I was actually surprised that the Senate passed the same thing that the House passed, which is kind of to end Biden's ESG thing in 401ks and in other retirement plans. So if you haven't heard about that, ESG stands for, I think it's like environmental social governance, something like that. And it's essentially wokeism that's federally sponsored. And so what it was allowing, companies like Charles Schwab and Morgan Stanley's and all those places to do is to consider wokeism, climate change, stuff like that, social justice stuff in funds as they're trying to figure out how to manage their clients' investments. So what they're supposed to do is make you money, right? Like you rely on your Morgan Stanley broker, your Charles Schwab people to be investing in things that they believe will make you the most money. Not so under Biden. He wants there to be a factor considered that is, are we investing in companies that are like do-goodery companies? And that should be part of the equation.
Well, first of all, it like should have nothing to do with that. But second of all, do-goodery according to them.
Exactly.
Right.
So the Senate, because they're missing Fetterman and there's somebody else that was missing, I think it was Dianne Feinstein. They were both gone for health reasons. So they didn't vote. And then Manchin and I think Tester was the other Democrat senators that came to vote with Republicans. So they actually passed ending that ESG stuff, which was great. But Biden has already said he's going to veto it. So it's going to stay. And so that, because there's no way they're going to get a 2/3 majority to override the veto. So in other words, when you're investing, you guys should be checking with your investment companies to see what their policies are on ESG because it's bullshit.
I can't believe we even have to do that.
I know.
Like you even have to check and see what their policies are on ESG.
Right? Like their whole job is to make you money.
Yeah.
This shouldn't even be a thing.
And a lot of these guys are making money off of you. Like that's how they make their living. They're making money off of your money. So it's like, just do your freaking jobs.
Right? I don't know why is it so hard? We also need to talk about Field of Greens, which unfortunately we are lacking on this trip right now because we didn't bring it.
We're lacking sleep and greens.
Oh man.
There's gonna be a lot of fry eating.
There's going to be a lot of that. Where's my little banner for it?
I'm looking
for a little banner.
There it is.
There
right
it
there.
is.
It's right there.
I wanted to show you guys the banner so you can see what we're talking about. So Field of Greens, if you haven't heard of it, it's like a green health powder. So if you're somebody who doesn't get enough fruits and vegetables in the day, and it's hard to get like as many servings as they say you're supposed to have, it's like next to impossible to actually be a normal human and eat that much fruit and vegetables. But this helps you supplement what you're not getting in real fruits and vegetables, because it's basically flash frozen nutrients from fruits and vegetables in a green powder that you mix in 8 ounces of water, and it tastes freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And then it gives you all the energy, which is what I need right now.
We should have brought some with us.
Why did we not
I don't know why we didn't bring any with us.
Bad. It's because we're overpackers to the extreme, and there was no room in the luggage for the Field of Greens.
It's just dumb.
But it comes in a very handy little canister. There's different flavors. I personally like the berry. She likes the lemon lime.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
It's lemon. It's like the yellowish container.
Yeah.
It looks like, and it tastes like sweet tea.
I can't remember if it's called what it's called, but
I don't remember either. Favorite. I just go to the yellow container.
The yellow container. Mm-hmm. They're all delicious though, which is weird, right? Like you wouldn't think a green powder would taste good, but they actually taste kind of. My favorite is the fruity one. It tastes really, really good. And so we do have a discount for you. It is if you use code CHICKS at fieldofgreens.com, you get 15% off of your first order. And if you decide that you want to sign up for it so that it comes once a month or whatever your subscription level is, you get another 10% off for subscriptions too. So if you're a person who's not getting all the vitamins and nutrients you need from your fruits and veggies, here's the way to make up for that. You will have more energy, I promise. And it's going to make you feel just lots better. Fieldofgreens.com, code in other news, you guys remember that Canadian shop teacher dude?
The giant bazongas.
With the giant bazongas?
Yeah, it's a trans person with it's like a biological dude.
Yeah.
That's identifying as a woman, teaching shop.
Yeah.
Those things are going to get caught in like a wood chipper or something. Got to be careful with that.
They're absolutely ridiculous prosthetics.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? I know we showed them before.
You can't forget that. I think that Tucker talked about that individual.
Yeah. So the way that, parents have been exploding with anger about this, but there's nothing that the Canadian school system will do about it, because trans people and this whole idea of expressing yourself in whatever way you're going to express yourself, it's so hands off. Everybody's so afraid of just doing the right thing that they've allowed this guy to wear the prosthetics, and there's been no consequences. So finally, and because he's trying to say that he suffers from like some breastular gigantism,
like elephantitis of the boobs,
right?
Yeah,
he's never been medically diagnosed.
That's a thing.
But he diagnosed himself with that, and so this is how he's been able to justify it. Well, finally, some very clever and savvy parents caught photos or video of this guy out and about in public not wearing the prosthetics. He's doing this to just, I don't know, be a troublemaker or whatever. So because it was proven that he doesn't have a disorder and that he's literally just putting on prosthetics, the school has now put him on leave with pay.
I know. So how is that a punishment?
It's not. He's got a paid vacation now.
This is the thing. So, okay, so neener, we got you. But then he gets money from taxpayers to sit on his butt at home.
Right?
So who wins?
Gosh, it just makes me
This is
so
the
mad.
thing. Who wins? It's like, oh, okay. So a federal employee gets to sit at home and, reap the benefits.
Yeah.
Yay. Congratulations.
Everybody's become so scared of just doing the common sense.
Yeah.
Thing,
saying
right?
the things
and doing the things.
Exactly.
It's just so stupid. Thank
It
you,
is
Marcus
stupid.
Drake.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, so those are the headlines before we get to videos. Now,
but listen, just to go back to that, I can see why people are scared though, because is it that Gascon guy? Is that his name? Gascon? Is that how you say his name? He's the DA that got that one prosecutor in trouble because he misgendered that one transgender criminal. Did you hear about that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, did you guys hear about that? That one prosecutor misgendered a criminal.
Oh,
and
my
so
God.
and that prosecutor got in trouble for it. So this is the thing. It's like people are scared of even saying anything because we've gone completely off the cliff when it comes to this stuff. It's nuts what's happening in this country. We have to say thank you to Michelle.
Missy Jean Michelle, you little scamp. Thank you very much for that super sticker. Appreciate that. Okay, so we do have videos to get to, the first of which is kind of a follow-up to a video that we played earlier in the week. You guys may remember, was it yesterday or the day before that we played the woman heartbreaking testimony?
Oh my God, it was yesterday.
Okay, yesterday, of the woman who was talking about how her 2 sons were victims of fentanyl poisoning. And so she's lost 2 sons to fentanyl. So she was talking about the border and how wide ass open it is. And she was pleading with both sides of Congress to please just stop the bickering and just focus on the task at hand, which is to close the border and make it secure. And so now Biden has decided to just laugh that off and to blame it on Trump. And the fact that he laughs at all when referencing this woman in a sentence is so disrespectful. So you got to see it to believe it. Here it is.
She was very specific recently, saying that a poor mother who lost 2 kids to fentanyl, that I killed her sons. Well, the interesting thing is that fentanyl they took came during the last administration.
Oh my God, what is wrong with this guy?
Wow. Right? Wow. And you know what? Here's the difference. Trump actually was begging Congress to get the border secure.
Oh my God.
And they kept turning him down at every turn. They said, we're not paying for your wall. We're not paying for extra security. We're not paying for more border control. And so Biden is going to turn around and try to blame him. Oh my God. It's just wow.
The RNC needs to use that as an ad.
Yeah.
That needs to be used as an ad. They need to take that snickering and they need to plaster that everywhere.
Along with the woman's testimony.
Right.
Yeah.
That is an ad. That's your ad right there.
Can you believe that?
What the hell is wrong with him?
Oh my gosh. It's just, it makes me so mad.
That's indefensible.
GCQC, thank you. She says, have a cocktail on me tonight.
That's so sweet.
You guys, we need so many cocktails.
Oh my God, all the cocktails. It'll probably be at like 4 p.m. I don't know. We may not be done with work by then because we have a big summit today with our mothership. And then I don't know, we'll see if we're done and then we'll come back here and we're going to be in jammies soon as possible.
As soon as possible. There will be jammies and bedtime.
So many jammies.
Whew, yeah. It is early. Also, another follow-up, Christopher Wray. We showed some clips of him with his interview with Brett Baer yesterday. And there's more pieces of that interview coming out. And so what you're about to see is Brett Baer questioning him on how there seem to be different standards applied to different cases when the FBI makes its arrests, right? And so I thought this was an interesting exchange. Christopher Wray, man, that guy is, he's you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
He's that guy. He's that guy that you're like, I don't trust you.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Here is that clip.
All right, so let's talk about By the Book. Mark Houck, Pennsylvania pro-life activist, arrested at his home in front of his family for an alleged violation of the Freedom of Access of Clinics Act, alleged incident which he was protesting in front of an abortion clinic. He was recently acquitted of all charges at trial. The show of force for that arrest, that decision to use that force, was that by the book?
Those decisions are made, as they should be, by the commanders on the ground in the field office who have the expertise about when to conduct operations safely and securely for the safety of everybody involved. And to my knowledge, those processes were all followed in this case.
Yeah, I mean, historically, FBI protocol is that a defendant has, if it has no criminal history, is not believed to be violent or pose a threat to public safety, that he or she is permitted to self-surrender rather than subject dynamic execution of an arrest warrant. And here's what I'm talking about is the dual system. You know, there's that for a pro-life activist, but not that for a Black Lives Matter protester who maybe torches a federal building over the summer. So that disparity, that dichotomy is what sticks in people's mind.
I understand that people have their opinions. All I can tell you is that we have one standard. One standard. Which is irrespective of ideology, of politics. In this country, it doesn't matter what you're upset about or who you're upset with. You don't get to express that upset with violence. And so we are agnostic as to the ideology and focused on the violence. For even a white-collar arrest, there are situations where white-collar arrests have resulted in shootings. So there's a whole lot of things that goes into the judgment about what is the way to conduct arrests safely and securely that are made, I think, appropriately by the career agents on the ground who have the closest visibility to the circumstances. And the FBI has a long history of conducting those operations with a far better track record of safety than a lot of other agencies, precisely because those people take it so seriously and so meticulously.
I love how he's like, I understand how people have their opinions, but ours are more important.
They're wrong.
And F yours.
Right.
F yours. He's so smarmy, that guy.
So smarmy.
Good.
Thank you, Christy. She says GCQC has your cocktails. I have your fries. Enjoy, ladies, and bring back all the tea. Brenda.
Thank you so much, Brenda.
Brenda says, enjoy your weekend. Looking forward to more videos on the Insiders page. That's right. Facebook Insiders or local supporters is where you're going to get.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
you, guys. Thank you.
I mean, it's such a complete double standard, and they can't just brush it away by saying, well, no, we have just one standard. Well, obviously you don't, though.
Yeah.
So,
and you're not agnostic. You're not.
I mean, come on. Yeah. And this is a reason, you guys, actually, before we get to Ted Cruz, because that is a meltdown of epic proportions. We do want to remind you, especially since we were just talking about the Charles Schwabs of the world and the JP Morgan Chases of the world and all of that stuff. We do want to remind you about Birch Gold. You don't ever have to worry about ESG stuff when you're dealing with precious metals. And so if you've thought about dabbling into gold or precious metals, haven't really known a lot about it, Birch Gold, we love them because they are the high priests and priestesses of education about precious metals investing. So there's no obligation. You just text the word chicks to 989898 and they send you like a free kit that has all the information broken down in a way that people as dumb about finances as me can understand. So I guarantee you guys will totally understand it. You'll learn something from it. And then if you decide it's for you, great. If not, that's fine too. Just text chicks to 989898 and learn yourself all about it. Okay, Ted Cruz going off on a very, very similar sort of situation.
And very important one.
Yes, very, very important. So you guys remember when the Supreme Court justices were getting threatened in the light of all of the abortion stuff that was happening last summer, remember? Mm-hmm. And there's an actual law on the books already that says, hey, you don't get to threaten Supreme Court justices. That's a crime.
Yeah.
And you'll be prosecuted for that. And then no one ever was.
Yeah. And a lot of us were wondering, why isn't that happening?
Yeah. So Ted Cruz absolutely lost his shit on Merrick Garland at a hearing yesterday. This is, I don't know if I've ever seen Ted, and you know, Ted, he gets mad. He gets mad in a lot of hearings and he asks very pointed questions and has these backs and forths with people.
Yeah.
But this was an anger level from Ted that I have not seen in a while. Check this out.
Hearing room knows it's no. You're not willing to answer a question. Have you brought a case under this statute? Yes or no?
As far as I know, we haven't. And what we have done is defended the lies of the justices with over 70 U.S. Marshals.
How do you decide which criminal statutes the DOJ enforces and which one it doesn't?
The United States Marshals know that they have full authority.
I recognize you want to give a separate speech.
No, I don't want to
How do you decide which statutes you enforce and which ones you don't?
The Marshals on scene make that determination in light of the priority of defense.
The Marshals do not make a determination over whether to prosecute. You, the Attorney General, make a determination, and you spent 20 years as a judge, and you're perfectly content with justices being afraid for their children's lives and you did nothing to prosecute it. Let's shift to another.
Can I answer the question?
You cannot. You have refused to answer the question.
I am answering your question. The Attorney General does not decide whether to arrest.
How did you choose not to enforce this statute?
The marshals on scene.
Marshals don't make that decision.
They do make the decision of whether to make an arrest.
Prosecute someone? No, they don't.
Yeah, so that's his job. God, I'm so glad that he pressed him on that, because that's his job.
Damn.
And he didn't do it because they're conservatives, right? Because they're conservative. And he didn't feel like he wanted to do that because conservatives, they don't matter. Just like we've seen time and time again. If it's a conservative, screw him. It's a conservative, right?
God, that was like, he was heated, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was some heat.
Yep.
From Ted.
And we're seeing that. It's like different levels of justice, whether you're a conservative or you're a liberal.
Yeah. If you want to peacefully protest at an abortion clinic, your house is going to be raided.
Right.
If you want to
forcefully
torch a freaking building because you're mad about Black Lives Matter, fine.
It's
Look the other
okay.
way.
It's totally fine. If you want to ruin somebody's business, and do that, it's totally fine. They're totally going to look the other way. Yeah. And then exactly. With the if you're peacefully protesting an abortion clinic, they're going to forcefully, come to your house and arrest you. This is the thing. They're abusing their power.
Yeah. And they're applying it differently, depending on your political ideology.
Right.
Thank you, Paula. Paula says, so excited you're going to CPAC. I feel like I will be there. I hope that we make you feel like that. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you so much for the super stickers. Appreciate that. Merrick Garland is such a weenie.
Yeah.
Also, I have not seen or heard from Condi Rice in forever. Not personally, I mean, but like just in the news.
Yeah, because she calls us on the daily. She used to be like,
shopping.
Hey girl, let's go have some coffee. Yeah.
That's not what I meant. I know that sounded weird. But she was on I don't even remember who the reporter is, but she was on with someone talking about Ukraine. And she's one of those people that is very level and steady.
Yeah, I've always liked her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I thought her perspective was worth playing. It's a bit longer, but the reason it's interesting is because she's talking about what the GOP primary candidates should be thinking about as they begin to present their own policy ideas on Ukraine. And so, it's Condi, and I think she's incredibly smart and wise. And so I just thought her perspective was interesting. Here it is.
Early stage of the 2024 presidential race, foreign policy is already getting talked about a fair amount. Former President Trump criticized the amount of U.S. funding for Ukraine. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, widely expected to run, said the U.S. cannot provide Ukraine an open-ended blank check. Right. They reject your point of view in many ways by saying the U.S. needs to kind of pull back here.
Well, I'm not going to put words in the mouth of future presidential candidates. We'll see where they end up. But I will,
Ron DeSantis.
Right. But I will say this: it is really important that whoever runs for president of the United States understands the essence of this conflict. The fact that we are defending not just Ukrainian independence, but we are defending a rules-based system that says might doesn't make right. You can't just extinguish your neighbor. And oh, by the way, for those who would say, we ought to be concentrating on the Indo-Pacific because China is really our adversary, Xi Jinping is telling you what he thinks about that, because he is not only watching what is going on in Ukraine, according to our intelligence, apparently, he's even considering getting in on the side of the Russians.
Why do you think he would make that judgment? Why is it in his interest?
I think we have to recognize that the Chinese-Russian relationship is perhaps more strategic than many of us had thought, that it really is a relationship that is aimed at the heart of U.S. power in the world. And that would say then these two are not divisible. So if you want to say, let's just concentrate on the Indo-Pacific, that's not going to work. And oh, by the way, many of our allies, Australia, Japan, fundamentally understand that. So I would say to those who are going to run for office, be careful what you say. And I would just make one other point. If the American people see a world in which Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping have won this engagement, this first volley, if you will, in the largest strategic picture, and they see that Ukrainian independence has been extinguished, and they know that the United States could have done something about it, I don't think that's going to be a very good message for a future president to have to deliver.
Because that problem will come to his desk.
Because that problem will come to his desk.
Or her desk.
Or her desk. Mm-hmm. And I just say, just remember dates. 1914, 1941, 2001. These conflicts always come home.
God, I
know that freaks you out because you have a teenage boy.
Yeah.
But, I have a teenage girl too. So, it's like everything's equal now. But my thing is listen, there still shouldn't be a blank check.
That's the point.
And there needs to be, and I don't agree with that at all. And we still need to worry about us. And if it is going to come home, are we prepared? And we're not freaking prepared because we've been too busy giving checks to all these other countries and trying to take care of everybody else. And we never make America first, and that's one thing that Trump did. And I loved, and a lot of people loved, is that we did start making us it's like it's like being a good mom. You know what I mean? You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of your family. And if you're like a big pile of crap, you're not going to be good for your family. You know what I mean? So I know it's probably not very good metaphor, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's like, you've got to take care of us before you can take care of all these other people. And we have literally let ourselves go to crap, you guys. We've let ourselves go. And so we've got to start taking care of ourselves because we are crumbling. We are literally crumbling. So, and there has to be a plan. You can't just keep writing checks to everybody thinking, oh yeah, everything's going to be fine, which is precisely what this administration is doing. It's not going to be fine. It'll eventually fall apart completely at the seams, which is what's happening. We're watching it happen.
Well, the other problem, I saw that, I think it was like the German foreign minister came out and said, yeah, we don't have enough military. We basically don't have enough military resources, whether it's people or might or weapons, or they just flat out admit, yeah, we can't provide a level of defense for ourselves or for any other members of NATO. So just like Trump said, when he was in office, he was so always harping on NATO partners to do their fair share. I know Democrats love to co-opt that term all the time, but a fair share from NATO means 2% of your GDP gets spent on NATO defense. And if you're not contributing, that's not okay.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on the United States to cover all of you, especially when that's the part of the country that should be most worried about Russia and Ukraine. So it just makes me so mad. And I understand Condi's point. I mean, I understand it very well. And NATO should be doing things to help Ukraine. But the point is that we're doing it in a way that is completely at the detriment of ourselves and everybody else, without any kind of accountability. And that's the part that makes me crazy.
Yeah.
That's the part that Matt Gaetz was actually talking about yesterday. And so I thought this was a strong statement from him.
Biden is describing the supplemental funding that we're providing to Ukraine. He says, quote, it's also going to help schools and hospitals open. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket. So help me understand how U.S. taxpayers paying for pensions in Ukraine is a good idea for our country.
I would defer you to other parts of our government. The Department of Defense doesn't have a role in pensions in Ukraine.
You're a senior Biden administration official. The president said that it's really important that we keep funding the pensions in Ukraine. I would observe that the U.S. Census Bureau says that in 2022, the U.S. pension shortfall is $1.4 trillion. So while we have a corrupt Ukrainian government, while we have our watchdog here who can't say that we followed the law on end-use monitoring, we have the President of the United States saying we need to fund pensions in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the pensions of our fellow Americans are in greater jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. That's a bunch of crap. I mean, it's like, and you can be somebody who says, I want to make sure that, we help the people of Ukraine, or we just want to make sure that, that the war effort is helped. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to fund freaking pensions.
Right.
I mean, come on. That's insanity.
That's the part where you're just like, you've got to understand why American people are so freaking fed up with it.
They're fed up with it.
Like, it's one thing to send weaponry, right? It's one thing to arm Ukrainians to fight the war.
Right.
It's a whole other thing to start thinking about their personal individual futures.
Yeah.
Okay. We got enough people here in America that are worried about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So many. especially when, you can't buy a dozen eggs and people are like struggling to feed their families here. And I'm supposed to be worried about some schmuck that can't, get his pension. I'm sorry. I don't care about their pensions.
Yeah.
I don't. And if people think that I'm, I'm not sympathetic to them for not wanting to pay their pensions, okay, well, then I'm unsympathetic.
I mean, there's at some point you got to cut off. There just can't be an endless, it doesn't exist.
No.
It does have a finite limit to it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Also, another follow-up from yesterday, we did play a video from Dr. Marty McCary in a hearing with Bhattacharya, other doctors of prominence about COVID. And this was a point that I had missed yesterday, so I wanted to get to it today. And he's talking about this idea of misinformation about COVID. You guys remember how often we heard that, right? Like that. And people were silenced. We got a YouTube strike because of COVID misinformation, even though whatever we said at the time is like coming true, right? And so he is talking about who the biggest perpetrator of misinformation during COVID was.
The latest perpetrator of misinformation during the pandemic has been the United States government. Misinformation that COVID was spread through surface transmission, that vaccinated immunity was far greater than natural immunity, that masks were effective. Now we have the definitive Cochrane review. What do you do with that review? Cochrane is the most authoritative evidence body in all of medicine and has been for decades. Do you just ignore it, not talk about it? That myocarditis was more common after the infection than the vaccine. Not true. It's 4 to 28 times more common after the vaccine. That young people benefit from a booster. Misinformation. Our two top experts on vaccines quit the FDA in protest over this particular issue, pushing boosters in young, healthy people. The data was never there. That's why the CDC never disclosed hospitalization rates among boosted Americans under age 50. The vaccine mandates would increase vaccination rates. The George Mason University study shows it didn't. It did one thing. It created never-vaxxers who are now not getting the childhood vaccines they need to get.
That's right.
Over and over again, we've seen something that goes far beyond using your best judgment with the information at hand. We've seen something which is unforgivable, and that is the weaponization of medical research itself. The CDC putting out their own shoddy studies, like their own study on natural immunity, looking at one state for 2 months, when they had data for years on all 50 states. Why did they only report that one sliver of data? Why did they salami slice the giant database? Because it gave them the result they wanted. Same with masking study. Well, the data has now caught up in giant systematic reviews.
It always will.
And the public health officials were intellectually dishonest. They lied to the American people. Thank you.
Boom. And you know what else this has done? It's created a whole swath of people that don't trust the medical field.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I don't trust the medical field. What a shame that is. Because I used to work in that industry. I used to work in pharma. I used to work with doctors. I mean, it's like I know doctors, you know what I mean? It's not that and scientists. And it's like now I don't even want to go to the doctor. So I feel like I'm one of those people that I would give them the benefit of the doubt. But at this point, I'm just like, screw it. I talked to a friend of mine the other night. I was at a swim banquet and she's military. And she was telling me that, like they all were forced to do all the jab stuff and everything. And she took her daughter to get, some sort of a checkup. And, her daughter is autoimmune compromised. Like she has an autoimmune thing. And the doctor, you could tell, was shaming her about all the vaccination stuff. Like the doctors will shame you. Like doctors will make you feel bad if your kids, itty bitty kids, don't have the COVID vaccination. And it's like, there's a shame still.
Yeah.
Like they still, even after all the research, even after everything that's come out, they still will give you that look like
you're one of those.
Are you one of those people? I mean, with kids, like you may have it, whatever, but if your little itty bitty kid who is autoimmune, like who has an immune compromised kid. Like if you've chosen not to do that with your kid because of all the things that you've seen, they give you that look, or they make you feel like you're somehow inferior. We're still doing this? Like, hello?
How many more studies need to come out?
It's like, and this is why people are like avoiding the doctors. This is why they're avoiding getting treatment. This is not okay. Like, this is why there's going to be a whole generation of people that don't trust the medical field because they were lied to. And that's not okay. It's just not.
Thank God for doctors like him and Dr. J and all those other doctors that are testifying and that are actually speaking sense. And hopefully it's a wake-up call to some of the leaders of these agencies. I mean, come on, Rochelle Walensky.
Right.
We're kind of on to you now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just shut up with all this, like, shut up with this. And there were a whole bunch of people who were just demonized.
And it would go such a long way, I think, if she, for example, and even Fauci, which will never happen because he's now retired, but if she would come out and say, you know what, we really fucked up and we feel terrible about the level of mistrust there now is in the CDC and other medical agencies. And you know what we're going to do? From now on, we're going to have an open debate about these issues.
Yes.
We're going to allow all kinds of widely diverse ideas to be discussed and debated, because that is what science is all about.
Yeah.
But they won't do it. They won't own what they did. And until they do, they are always going to be mistrusted.
Right. I mean, they've single-handedly destroyed public health and the way that people view public health in this country.
I would have so much more respect if they would just say that.
Oh my gosh, it would make all the difference, because I mean what they've done, and because there are good people that are working in public health. There are good scientists, there are great doctors, they exist. Mm-hmm. It's just that the stigma that they have put on it now, that's on them. It really is on them. And I mean, I'm one of those people that I don't trust a lot. I mean, I just don't trust a lot of it now. I don't trust what a lot of these people say. I know that a lot of you out there are the same way. And you know what? Don't blame me. You did that.
Yeah.
You have made that bed. Lie in it.
Just like Dr. Marty said, you've now created
right.
like never vaxxers
right.
because of how awful you've mishandled this entire COVID
exactly
thing.
There are people that don't want to get flu vaccines.
Mm-hmm. I'm one of them. I didn't get one.
Right.
Because I'm just like, at this point, if there's like, they're changing them every year, and I don't even want to think about the risk of the mRNA version of it. No, like they're not getting that anywhere near me.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm just not doing that anymore.
This is the thing.
Thank you, FFS Jenny O.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's
very
very generous. Okay, so switching gears, because this has been a lot of heavy stuff this morning, and we're together and we want to celebrate like being chicks for 14 years and all that stuff. Like we've really not had any proper time to celebrate.
She's gonna hurt me. She's gonna hurt me. Oh my god.
Because she got here so late.
I did.
But let's do some fun stuff really quick. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard of the Whatever podcast, but there's a lot of videos going around from the Whatever podcast right now, and from what I can tell, because I've never actually listened to a whole episode, it's like a group of guys who are hosting, and they bring in all these single people, other guys and girls, usually in their early 20s, to talk about sex, dating, relationships, all that stuff. And one of the guys, I forget his name, but I follow him on Twitter now, is he is clearly a common sense individual who is not afraid of being accused of being called, being accused of being transphobic or bigoted or whatever. He says the things just like we do. Like, we want to just say the things that we feel without thinking about the backlash. And so you're going to see two clips from the show. The first clip is of him being asked the question, because I think it cuts off at the beginning, and I want to make sure people know the context. He is asked, if you had a choice between having sex with the oldest woman in the world or a trans woman, what would you do? And so his answer, because he's a straight guy, is pretty clear. But the girls on the panel,
like 20, looks like they're like 20 something.
They are so mad at his transphobia, and he does not back down. And I love it.
At his supposed
what they perceive as transphobia. He's not transphobic. He's just straight.
Right.
That's all.
It's what they've been programmed to think.
Right. Exactly. And so it's an interesting podcast because it is just real conversations taking place. Mm-hmm. Hide your kids, hide your wives, because there's a lot of slaying around of F-bombs in this one.
Right.
Would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay.
What? You really just want me to just rip you a fucking new one. I swear to God.
Are you like, Chase, how dare you be transphobic?
Yes, actually. What the fuck do you mean? Yes, that was so
Because if I
unnecessary.
had sex with a trans woman, I'd be having sex with a biological man. And I don't want to do that.
The question is,
would
that's
they
not what
sleep
you
with
said,
you?
though. That's fine. If that's
Because
what you
I'd be
want to say.
gay if I had sex
That's
with a
not
biological
gay.
man.
That's not gay.
That's
And I don't
gay.
even care if you're doing
my
this for like
gosh.
whatever, but like shut the fuck up. Actually,
I'm doing
You
it
look
for
like
what
you have a
Hey,
need to
why-
respect
why don't-
his
why don't-
street
That's too far.
identity.
That's
Why
too
don't you
fucking
why don't
far.
you make me
That's
shut
too
the
far.
fuck up? Because I have an opinion that differs from yours.
She's right. I mean, that's really
But
hateful,
she's
bro.
not. She's not. It would technically be homosexual. A trans woman is a biological man. Sue me. It's true.
Fuck, dude, that's mean. I also gotta go.
It's
I gotta
not
go.
fucked up. It's real.
That's
It's
his-
true.
Okay, if you guys want to
It's
respect
factual.
gender identities, that's his though. That's his sexuality.
Any opinions you want, but
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, from a biological woman who doesn't even have any trans friends, that was too fucking far.
What?
A man of God who doesn't judge a Christian, yeah.
Yeah, you know what God said? It said He made them man and women. He made them man and woman. I just told you I'm not gay. I'll pass on that. Thanks though.
Not with these girls.
They're just so upset.
Who
They're,
knew that
no,
stating
they're
biological-
idiots is what they are. They're complete and total morons.
Oh, you haven't even seen anything yet. If you,
I
you're
mean,
right.
and they're like, bruh, bruh,
much
oh my God, bruh.
What is that? Thank you, Connie. Connie says doctors are threatened. They will lose their livelihoods. Med schools, indoctrination of the next generation doctors. It is so sad and scary.
Yeah,
We've
it
talked
is.
about that 100 times.
We have ad
For
nauseum.
real.
It is kind of crazy.
It's terrifying.
These
to see
girls,
them.
what are these girls? Who teaches them anatomy and physiology? Are they learning any of this in school? Like, what do they not understand?
Anatomy is a social construct.
I mean, he's speaking truth.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And
nothing.
they can't handle it.
There's nothing that's not true that's coming out of his face. Nothing. And they're losing. Like the chick is losing her mind. She has to leave. She can't handle the truth. She has to get up and leave. There's nothing that he is saying that's not true.
Truth hurts. But if you want to see real idiocy, this is from the same podcast. This is of a girl talking about, I don't even know because it's so dumb.
Oh my God.
I think she's talking about the stages of a relationship, of a new developing relationship, and how there's a certain talking stage of it that annoys her. If you can make heads or tails of what this absolute idiot, this product of America's education system is saying in between all of the likes, because like literally like every other like word like is like. It's unbelievable. And I'm always on my kid about saying the word like too much. He's got no issue compared to this woman. She is out of her mind stupid. Watch this.
The biggest thing that like annoys me in like the whole dating world is like fucking talking stages. Like that shit's so annoying. Like the whole like, and just like the inconsistency in them. Like I literally like hate that like so much. But I think that's like my biggest thing. It's just like
what specifically?
Just like the fact of just like you like, I don't know how to word this. Like in like talking stages, and it's just like you're like labeled that, and it's like people like are considered like you can't like you're just like confused, and like most of the time like the girl gets like attached or something, and they like see it like it's gonna lead to a relationship, and it's always not, and it's just like that's like my biggest thing is like I just hate the whole like how like talking stages are so like normalized. Like traditional dating does not exist in this generation.
What did she just say? What does anybody know what she just said?
She has boobs.
She's like, and then boobs. I have boobs.
You guys, it doesn't matter what she said, right?
What is happening? What's happening?
I have no idea.
Is this
what her point was?
The generation. I'm so.
I love that clip so much.
I'm scared.
Does anybody
understand what she said? Does anybody know?
I don't know. Yeah, nobody knows. She said like that's pretty much what she said. It's
She
just
said like a lot. She said like a
I
lot.
mean,
Yeah, she was probably valedictorian of her class. What do you want to bet that she was valedictorian? She was like the most like smartest, like
so
the
like,
most
so
smartest.
smart.
of her class. Like,
isn't that sad though, you guys? That's what they're like now. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another clip that is now your whack.
Yeah, this is my whack, you guys. This is the whack.
We have no setup for it.
There's no setup. You're just gonna watch it. You got, again, hide your kids, hide your wives.
Hide your kids. This is this absolute state of our culture. Okay, you guys ready for this? Here we go.
I'm Janeway. I'm a queer, gender fluid, disabled sex worker. I'm a punk that loves to fuck and loves to love. I've always just had a draw to the freedom of it. And I've always been such a sexual person. But there is a lot of pressure to identify as she in the context of sex work. They, them are my pronouns. I've lost tons of clients for not just accepting the she label. I recognize a lot of my white and thin privilege have afforded me a lot of opportunities in this business. It wasn't until my first stint in college did I realize the language of non-binary, of gender fluid, of trans identities. I didn't have to be the girl my parents raised me to be. So the first time I came out to my family, I was gender fluid. I played the banjo. I started putting on shows. I remember one of my debut shows, my mom came to see me. I finished a song and I went, "Hey Mom, I'm one of those they, them people." It was really liberating. Like, she actually just told me she's proud of me for the first time since I became a sex worker, which.
Good for her. Good for her and her mom.
This is our world, you guys.
This is our world. So she ticked a lot of boxes there. That's what you call intersectionality.
Right. Just so you know, that's what that. It's our word for the day is intersectionality.
Oh my gosh!
Right. So, yeah.
Anyway.
So you guys think she learned it in college? Somebody said she learned that in college.
Well, she said so.
Okay. So
she said she learned it when she went to when she went to college.
Probably
she learned about non-binary and queerness.
Probably
and all that.
Oberlin. Right. Her all girls college.
And
right.
that's what colleges are teaching. So you go to college and she probably had a nice upbringing, but she decided, I don't want to be the girl that my parents raised me to be. I need a name to call myself. Oh, queer, non-binary, they, them. That all sounds great. I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to glom onto those labels.
Her parents are probably so happy that she went off to college.
It's just complete indoctrination into nonsense. That's all it is.
This is the thing. It's terrifying when you send your kid. I mean, I'm a little terrified to send my kid to college.
I know. They're just getting worse and worse and worse.
Because you think, okay, my kid's strong-minded. I've raised her well. I think everything's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the older two fared well in college. But man, it's getting like the bat shittery is just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. It's getting really bad. Which is why, you guys, it's time for My Pillow Talks.
Thank goodness. We really do need
some good, fun stuff. I don't know because the one that I showed you this morning, I think you have to be able to read the caption. So, and I don't know if people will see her facial expressions well enough. I don't know if that'll translate well.
Oh, yeah.
So should I scratch that?
No,
one?
no. You got to show it.
Okay, well then, in case people can't see the captions, the woman, there's a caption underneath this woman that says, like a girl from the 1700s finding out that women can work and have careers, talking to a woman today who's about to go to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the context here. Oh, you know what? I have to do it this way. Here we go. Finally, women can work. And that was my favorite part is the face she made.
She's like, yeah, we can work. It's great.
It's hard to do this without like having two screens.
Not working was so much fun.
I think this is an anteater, you guys, and I like them. I think this is one of my new favorites. Look at that.
They're kind of slothy. I'm surprised you like them.
Well, because they don't have like, I don't know, I just like them. Look how furry they look.
They look very, very sweet.
I think I want that.
She wants an anteater now, you guys. It's an anteater.
You don't think that's cute?
Somebody said never before have I ever seen an anteater signal that they want uppies.
Aww.
Somebody called that
an. Want it even more.
That's what they call it, an uppie. They want
uppies.
That's sweet.
Oh my God.
I've never heard that phrase.
Okay, so this next one, I'm just gonna keep this like this.
I
This
need to see the
next
cat.
one, yeah,
I've
well,
got-
that's what we're
okay.
doing next. So the cat, you're about to see a cat who's like into the biggest, deepest sleep ever.
Oh my
But you know
God.
how when you put like a treat that
They can smell.
they can smell, if it's a dog or a cat, they can smell whatever that treat is that you put next to their noses. And so the way that this treat wakes up the cat is just, it's perfect.
Oh my God, that cat.
Still sound asleep.
Oh my God, that is the greatest.
And he's like, oh wait.
He's like,
Oh, man.
it's right there. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Good cat.
And then speaking of being in a deep, deep sleep, look at this entire household.
Oh my God, I love it. That baby is out. This has to be Thanksgiving Day.
Like everybody's
Everybody's
just
out.
God, I love that.
That's awesome.
So great. Okay, then we have another Prince Harry moment. This is how he orders at Starbucks.
Hi, what can I get you? Just a coffee, please. Okay, any cream or sugar? Is there a problem, sir? Do you know what color cream and sugar are? They're white? Exactly. It's helpful. I don't understand. We need some more to ask for conversation. Okay, could you step aside, sir? And I love my brother. And I love my family.
And I love my brother. And I love my family. Oh my God, I cannot get enough.
That
Okay,
guy.
you guys, you know my favorite.
What is that?
That
What is
a
it?
goat. You want to see that?
We have to see the goat, you
Okay.
guys. I'm sorry.
What is? It's a tiny baby goat.
He was just like sitting, but he's the way
Well, they
he's
just
sitting.
screenshot it. They just screenshot that moment of when he slipped against the window, right there.
Oh my God. It looked like he was like lounging. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to see that.
No,
you
that's
guys.
okay. But you guys, I have the best montages of the whole. See if your spouse meets your energy.
Oh my God.
You know how much
Yes,
I love them?
I know.
These are so fantastic. I've got 2 different clips of those.
Okay.
Oh my God, babe. Oh, she's coming. Hi. Hi.
Who's coming?
Just stand there. Go.
Who's coming?
Hi. It doesn't matter.
Who's coming?
He totally did.
That one didn't work as well.
That would be my husband. He'd be like, quit being an idiot.
Do you want to drive?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What? What? Oh my God. What? What? Oh my God.
The dog.
Oh my God.
Where do you want me to put this?
Over there with the garbage out.
Oh my God. What is that?
What? What is that? What is that?
It's there.
And then he's like, what is that? What is it?
What is what?
What is
He didn't even know what it was.
And he's like, ew, ew.
Okay, and then one more.
Oh my God, babe.
What? The fuck is wrong?
Oh, he's that mad.
What?
What's happening?
What happened?
What he say, baby? What he say? What? What is it? What? What the hell is it? What is that? What is that? What is it? What is it? Stop pushing me. What is it? What the hell is it? What is it?
You've got to do this to Ron. You've got to. I have to see how he reacts to
I'm
this.
absolutely crying, you guys.
I swear to God, you
cannot
have to see. You have to see how he reacts.
Oh my God. Okay, see now it's daylight and the light is even worse. Everything is so bad.
Everything is so bad here, you guys. When we first started,
Oh my God.
we were blue.
We're gonna have to prepare for like the daylight lighting. You know what I mean? For tomorrow. There's just no fixing this.
There's light. We're not Smurfy though anymore.
Oh
There.
my God.
Look,
Oh,
now we're
God.
Trumpy.
Now
Now
we're
we're
Trump.
Trumpy.
Yeah, now we're Trump.
Oh God, this is horrific.
It's
We
just
don't
not
look like
good.
this.
We don't. I promise we look better in person.
God, it's horrific.
Anyway, those are your talks for today. We're going to go and spend the rest of the afternoon with our BFFs at our Radio America team. And so that's going to be exciting. And then CPAC Friday, Saturday, we're going to be doing some stuff at CPAC.
If we see stuff today that's, weird, we'll tape it. We're all about finding the weird moments and like weird people,
And, like, people watching,
yeah, we'll find some stuff today for you guys. We'll see what we can scope out and like some sites and stuff like that. We'll
Yeah.
try to see if we can film some stuff for you guys because that's what we really want to find is the good stuff like that. I'm sorry, Cash isn't here today.
There's no flaps.
There's
no
no
flapularity today.
unless Mock can flap.
I don't think I can.
Yeah, you guys bring it in. Bring it in. Have the best day, and we will talk to you tomorrow.